Hey everyone! Today we're diving into Firefox 149 and its new built-in free VPN. And yes, I'm going to unpack what this actually means, not just repeat the headline. Let's start with the core idea. Mozilla is adding a free, browser-level VPN that covers 50 gigabytes per month and is tied to a Firefox account. That's a real feature, not a gimmick, at least on the surface. But there are lots of caveats, and I want to unpack them with the kind of nuance you'd expect from a creator who actually uses this stuff every day. What this is, in practical terms, is a browser-focused proxy that routes your browser traffic through Mozilla's servers to mask your IP and location while you're browsing. It's not a system-wide VPN. If you're trying to hide your activity from your entire device, or you want to switch geographies for streaming, this won't cut it. It's a meaningful distinction, and it matters for how you should think about privacy, security, and what you're trying to protect. Personally, I think the most honest way to frame this is as a soft intro to privacy rather than a silver bullet. It lowers friction to trying VPN-like protections for everyday browsing, which could be a net positive if it actually respects your data. What makes this really interesting is Mozilla's explicit stance. This is not built on third-party infrastructure like Molvad's. It's hosted on Mozilla servers, with a transparency angle baked in by their data principles. From my perspective, that's a bold move, Mozilla betting that they can deliver a trust-forward, browser-centric privacy feature and still monetize through a freemium strategy with the full Mozilla VPN as an upsell. Let's break down the main ideas and my read on each, because there are a few moving parts. 1. Free. 50 gigabytes per MO for browser traffic only. The core value proposition here is accessibility, a no-cost, built-in privacy layer without installing a separate extension or paid plan. But the limit, 50 gigabytes per month, means heavy users, gamers, or households with multiple devices may max out quickly. In practice, I'd expect normal browsing to be fine, but streaming, large downloads, or video-heavy sessions could burn that allowance fast. This creates a natural boundary that nudges users toward thinking about what they actually need a VPN for. My takeaway: the 50 gigabytes cap is a smart way to seed usage without cannibalizing Mozilla's paid VPN revenue. It's a test of demand. Does a free in-browser VPN increase trust and engagement enough to drive paid upgrades later? What people miss: this is not about giving you a fully private, device-wide shield. It's about anonymizing browser traffic and reducing fingerprinting in the places you browse. The boundary matters because privacy is layered, and you shouldn't assume it covers everything you do online. 2. Privacy philosophy and trust boundary. Mozilla frames this as being aligned with their data principles and commitment to trust. That's not an empty claim. It signals a different approach than the typical ad-supported free VPN products you see in other browsers. In my opinion, the real test will be how Mozilla handles telemetry, logs, and data retention for this service. If it's truly privacy-respecting, they'll minimize data collection and offer clear user controls. If not, the 50 gigabytes gift could feel like a marketing ploy rather than a genuine privacy tool. What this raises is a bigger question. Can a browser maker successfully offer a free privacy feature without compromising user trust or monetization? I think it can, but it requires rigorous transparency and airtight implementation. 3. The freemium funnel and monetization. There's a clear play to funnel users into the paid Mozilla VPN and to leverage the built-in feature as a gateway. It's a classic freemium funnel. Draw users in with a useful free feature, then upsell. That's business logic more than anything else, and it's very common in modern software ecosystems. What many people don't realize is that the value proposition isn't about immediate cost savings alone. It's about user experience, simplicity, and trust. If the free VPN reduces friction and builds a habit of privacy-conscious browsing, the perceived value of the paid option increases. A detail I find fascinating is how Mozilla positions this against other free VPNs. They're trying to differentiate on governance and transparency, not just price. That could appeal to a more privacy-forward audience, but it may also limit mass adoption if 50 gigabytes isn't enough for heavy users. 4. Regional availability and market impact. At launch, the feature will be available in the US, France, Germany, and the UK. That's a cautious rollout, not a global blowout. It makes sense to test performance, trust, and technical stability in a few markets before expanding. Firefox's desktop market share has slipped recently. Could a built-in free VPN help regain mindshare? It's possible, but I'd view this as part of a broader strategy that includes AI browsing features and other experiments. The real hump is whether users perceive a meaningful privacy improvement and stay long enough to be exposed to the upsell. Deeper insight: what this means for the future of browser-native privacy tools. What's really compelling here is the idea that a browser could become more than just a gateway to the internet. It could be a curated privacy interface, a control plane for how you interact with the web. If Mozilla proves that a browser-level VPN can be trusted, easy to use, and respectful of data, it could push other browsers to adopt similar models. That, in turn, would raise the baseline privacy in everyday browsing, which would be a positive shift, even if the protection spectrum isn't as wide as a full-device VPN. But there's a caveat most people overlook. With a browser-centric VPN, you're still exposed in other apps and services on your device. The real power of privacy comes from holistic thinking: who has your data, how it's used, and what you're comfortable sharing. The Firefox feature nudges you toward privacy-minded habits, but it won't automatically solve all privacy problems. If you take a step back and think about it, this tool is a reminder that privacy is a multi-layered puzzle, not a single silver bullet. Closing thought: if this experiment proves successful, I expect two things: higher trust in Mozilla's privacy stance and a more competitive privacy feature space among browsers. The big question I'm watching is whether the 50 GB free VPN will become a lasting, global option or remain a selective rollout. And more broadly, will this shift normalize browser-based protections to the point where users expect privacy defaults, not exceptions? One thing that immediately stands out is that the industry is willing to experiment with new models. The outcome will shape how we think about privacy in everyday browsing for years to come. What do you think? Do you want a built-in browser VPN that's free, or would you rather rely on a full-device solution for maximum protection? Let me know in the comments.